afternoon as well. Uh, and bonjour à tous, to all my colleagues who also speak the French. So I'm very, very happy to be with you this for this opening remark. As you know, as Vice President of the International Bureau for the Africa region, I'm really honored because today you are organizing this timely and important webinar on a very critical subject, the children with epilepsy, regarding their rights, their education, and support. I think this conversation holds special significance as it takes place, shortly after the celebration of the Day of the African Child, commemorated on June 16. So the day reminds us of our collective duty to uphold the rights and well-being of every child in Africa, regardless of having epilepsy or a child without epilepsy. So we need to uphold these rights. And as we are in the field of epilepsy, we are fighters. We are struggling to make sure that our voice are being heard by the political leadership within the African continent. So we need to make sure that all the kids, all the children living with epilepsy, with this condition, are should not be left behind. From Kenya and Eswatini that is going to share and work that they are doing, especially in regard to the child with epilepsy advocacy programs, protection, and how these programs are being managed on the ground. So at IB Africa, I believe that every child has the right to education, to appropriate healthcare, and a life free from discrimination. So their inclusion is not just, medical or educational. It's a human rights imperative. So let's take this opportunity to listen, to learn, and commit to stronger partnership, that support children with epilepsy and their families across the continent. So thank you for your presence and continued dedication to this cause, and to all my colleagues in the Africa regional chapters. So I wish you all a very fruitful and impactful discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf. Thank you, everyone. Good morning again to those who are just joining us. So wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Just to briefly introduce our topic, I would just like to call on our speakers. We have Miss Anita Dandwe. We equally have Mr. Becky Kumane, both from Eswatini. And then we have Mr. John Joroge and Mr. John Ngoda from Kenya. Please, I think it would be good for you to turn on your cameras so that each time you have to intervene, we can see who, we can relate and see who is talking. So like Mr. Yusuf rightly indicated, we are holding this webinar within the context of the Day of the African Child. The topic is children with epilepsy, rights, education, and support. We decided, or we shall be listening to dedicated parents of children with epilepsy who would share their personal experiences and challenges. They would discuss the importance of rights, education of their children. We really want to thank you all for accepting to share your stories with us and providing insights into navigating daily life, accessing support, and fostering understanding within your communities. So this session basically is to inform, to inspire and highlighting the resilience of families and the critical resources available for children with epilepsy. And hopefully your inspiring stories today would inspire other parents, parents of children with epilepsy. So like I rightly indicated, we have Miss Anita Dandwe. We equally have Mr. Becky Kumani. They are both from Eswatini. I want to thank Mr. Abraham for and his organization for providing or serving as a link to these parents. We equally have Mr. John Joroge, and then we have Mr. John Ngoda. I'm still to have an indication if Mr. John Ngoda has joined us online, but we are going to continue with the parents that are I've indicated. So I'm inviting Mr. Becky, Madam Anita, please can you turn on your cameras for us so that we can begin? Please, can you just say a hi? Mr. Becky, can you just drop a hi for everyone? Your speaker is muted, Mr. Becky.
No. Hi, everyone. My name is Begim Kumane from Eswatini.
Thank you very much. Hi, Madam Anita, please, can you equally unmute yourself, turn on your camera and say hi? She's still trying to log in. Hi, Mr. John Joroge. Please, can you turn on your camera and say hi? Mr. John, you're muted. Please, can you unmute your mic?
Hello, Cynthia. My laptop doesn't have camera.
Okay.
It is a desktop. So my name is John Joroge Mwangi. I'm a parent to Roindongo. Thank you.
Okay. We have an indication from Anita that she has a challenge signing in. I guess she'll join us as we move along. So I'm going to begin with Mr. John and Mr. Becky. Mr. John, I'm going to begin with you. Please, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your child?
Okay. My name is John Joroge. I have a son who is 11 years. He was 12 years, sorry. He was born in 2013. Then he was diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 3. Life has not been easy since 2013. We are struggling to look for better health and education.
Okay. I see Mr. John Ngoda has also joined us. Hi, Mr. John. Please unmute your mic and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your child as well.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. All right.
Yeah. Thank you. So thank you for inviting me. My name is John Ngoda. I have a son with cerebral palsy, which we noted during his milestones at age 2. And he's currently 39 years old. I would say he's about He's been assessed to have about 82-85% disability. He can't walk, he can't talk, he can't do anything on his own. The best we can do is help manage his situation, including turning him over every other night when he's resting or when he's sleeping. We're thankful and grateful that at age 14, he could sit up. Actually, we could prop him up, and he can sit up. And it's quite a challenge, especially when it comes to medication and stuff like that. Supporting services.
Okay. Mr. John, please, can you remind us again how old is he?
He is 39 years old now, born in 1986.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Please just hang in there. Let's listen to Mr. Becky. Mr. Becky, please turn on your mic and equally tell us a little bit about you and about your child.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Begi Mkumane from Eswatini. I've got a child. Yeah, I've got a daughter who is 2 years now. So we discovered that I've got epilepsy while he was young, while he was born. He was born with epilepsy. So the challenging that we have got with her is that he's not talking, he's not walking, he's not doing anything. So we are still struggling. We are taking her to hospitals, but yeah, we are still struggling with but we hope maybe when times goes on, she will be doing everything that a child is supposed to do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Becky. Hi, Miss Anita. Please, can you unmute your mic, turn on your camera, and tell us a little bit about you and about your child as well. Hi, Anita. Okay. All
Hello,
right.
everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I have a son who is 10 years old. He was diagnosed of epilepsy when he was 2 years old. Yet he was born with epilepsy, but we're not aware that it was epilepsy. We suspected demons and all the other things at home until he was 2 years, where we took him to the hospital and he was diagnosed of epilepsy.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Anita. I'm going to stay with you, Anita. Please, can you tell us what challenges that you have faced in securing educational support for your child?
Oh, okay. As a parent of a 10-year-old boy living with epilepsy, I've faced numerous challenges in securing educational support for him. When I first brought him to school, I was met with genuine concerns from teachers, including his class teacher who asked important questions about his condition. They wanted to know what triggers his seizures, how could they provide first aid, and what to expect during an episode. So it wasn't easy. He was delayed. He started school when he was 9 years old. He was doing grade 1 when he was 9 years old because he was delayed. Developmental stages were delayed, movement, talking, and the intellectual ability.
Okay, Anita. And would you say that the child's epilepsy has affected their learning experience in school?
Yes, I could say the epilepsy has affected his learning experience at school because epilepsy damages brain cells, and somehow he cannot behave or do things like all the other children do at school of his age. He was delayed. Right now, the things he do and the way he do things is not similar to his age mates. He can't concentrate properly like all the other children in his class.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he experiences silent seizures, might be restless, cannot focus well in class, and sometimes he cannot speak. There will be days where he doesn't want to speak. So he can't learn properly. Even the teachers are complaining.
Okay. And so what specific accommodations or what strategies have been most useful for you so far, or how have you adapted to see how you can overcome the challenges you face?
Okay. I can say I firmly believe my son should not be exempted from responsibilities due to his condition. I encourage him to engage in age-appropriate chores such as sweeping the house, washing his own clothes, and polishing shoes. Even though some may argue that he struggles with these tasks, I see the importance of teaching him responsibility.
It has started.
Okay. Please, if you are not speaking, maybe you could just mute your mic so that we don't have interference from your background during our discussions. Okay, Anita, just one more question before I move over to the next parent. Do you want to share any positive experience that you have had with the teachers or school staff regarding the needs of your child?
Pardon?
Do you want to share with us any positive experience you have had with the teachers or with the school in general regarding the needs of your child?
And the teachers are trying hard to meet with the needs of the child. However, while I appreciate their efforts, I must acknowledge that the reality in government schools can be challenging. The classroom are often congested, making it difficult for teachers to give individual attention to learners with special needs, even though inclusive education is encouraged. So the lack of resources and time limits the support that children like my son should receive, maybe, because I think he needs a special attention since he seems to be behind the other learners in his class. Maybe he must be given a special task, but they haven't yet done that.
All right. Okay. Okay, Anita, thank you for sharing your story with us so far. Please just do not go away. Let's listen to Mr. John Joroge. Mr. John, please help us unmute your mic, turn on your camera, and tell us about how what challenges you have faced in securing educational support for your child with epilepsy, and equally tell us how this has, and equally tell us how this has affected the child's learning experience in school. I'll begin with Mr. John Joroge before I go to Mr. John Goda.
Okay, thank you so much, Cynthia. Okay, my camera is not working. I'm using a desktop.
Oh, please write on. It's okay.
Okay. My experience with child education, one of the biggest challenges have been lack of awareness. Epilepsy in school, many teachers and administrations don't understand the condition, and this creates fear and hesitation. So sometimes you can find your kid is in the class, and because they don't know about the epilepsy, so they won't bother what the child is doing in class. So they will concentrate more on other children's rather than this one child that has epilepsy or disability. So it is very hard. We have struggled so many times. He missed school during to seizure and medical appointments, which sometimes caused him to fall behind in classroom, and then we get a call from the teacher telling us to come and pick the kid because he's feeling unwell. It has not been easy. Lack of support system or learning plan for students with chronic condition. You can find he's in a class where all the students are normal and he's different from them. So even if even if they say now you have something to do, my son can't do that because, okay, I didn't mention he has a problem with his right arm. He has Erb's palsy. He was born with Erb's palsy. So he has some difficulties in writing too. So that is my experience with education.
Okay. And what strategies are you employing, or what strategies are you using to be able to, I know it's not possible to totally overcome the challenges because you've highlighted the challenges you face, but what are the strategies you use to navigate these daily challenges?
Okay, mostly I always try now to be like a guardian where I can try to maybe to teach him, maybe to write his name, because there is something maybe you can help. Maybe we face a lot. We face so many challenges. And I've tried to go to get some medical checkup to see if he can be admitted to special school. But when we do that, they always advise us not to go that way because we can drill him from moving like other kids. So he will be much slower when he go to a special school. So what I'm trying to do now is to try and look for a tutor who can try to lay background education, because he doesn't have that background education and he's 12 years. So that is what I'm worrying about it now. And I'm trying to look for options and help from the schools.
Okay. Okay. And Mr. John, can you also just share with us what have you found most effective in communicating your child's needs to the school or even within your community?
You see, most cases in school and in our community, people always try to look. Someone who has disability doesn't have rights. The same applies to school. So I always try to do some awareness where I found that space to do awareness. I can try to tell the teacher or to tell the community, this is how it goes. My son has this, so maybe you can try to relate with him this way, not this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have the feeling of acceptance or understanding from the school or from the community when you employ or when you use these strategies?
Yeah, and we go far where you can now have a friend who can understand your kid and try now to help you. Yeah, I can see that since 2020.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. John, for sharing your experience with us. We're going to be moving over to Mr. John Goda. Mr. John, please, do you equally want to tell us about the strategies you use to navigate daily challenges with your son? At the age of 39, your experience can be quite an interesting one. Please let us hear from you.
Thank you, Cynthia. As I said earlier, my kid, or rather my boy, is no longer a kid. My boy is about 39 years old now. I was qualified, rather, he's almost qualified not to be a school material because he doesn't sit up on himself. He doesn't do anything at all on him for himself. We've got to do everything 100%, feeding him, turning him over at night. When he wets himself, we've got to do it for him, and we've got to crush food for him, though he has teeth. But the sense of eating doesn't make sense to him. So yeah, we've lived that way now, 37, 39 years down the line. But we've gotten used to it. Courtesy various initiatives by the government that have helped us develop the boy up to a point now where if we prompt him on the sofa, for example, he can sit up. He never used to sit up. He used to lie down there. His backbone was so weak in the formation years. But thank you to the APDK, that is the Association for the Physically Disabled Society of Kenya, who actually carry out physiotherapy exercises for such kind of kids on a daily basis, so that now he can prompt up and actually rock himself on the chair. I also must thank the association that has arranged for this in Kenya. That is the Kenya Association for People Living with Epilepsy. It is quite a challenge when it comes to such children. In fact, many people hide these children at the back of their houses. They don't bring them out. They don't even wheel them around. so that they can actually enjoy sunshine out there, rather they are kept in at the back of the house forever. So there is an issue of awareness, we must admit. Though in Kenya it's there, but I don't think it is satisfactorily existing so that everybody knows what is happening, the next door neighbor. And perhaps what we lack is the awareness through the media, so like radio, TV, programs that actually can be talking straight to the people and demonstrating to them what epilepsy or what things like convulsions out of cerebral palsy and other uh, causes really mean. And because of this, there is a stigmatization of such children. It is true that in most African countries, this is viewed as a taboo in families when you have a child like this. But however, because of the little, like what I had my colleague, my friend John say, he talks to people wherever he meets them. He engages the community wherever they are. I do the same, so that I also move around with my kid, wheeling him around outside home, so that I can go to the street, along the roads where there is a paved roads nowadays in Kenya, in certain places that people can see. Other people see and question. When you go to places of worship, they also query, what's all this about? And therefore, when you explain that informally, people get to know. And it's quite a challenge, yes, because time and again, we don't have that reserved time to educate, or rather to share what experiences we go through with such children. We also we have issues about medical support. It is unfortunate that our governments do not have an A to Z medical support systems. These are children who need drugs on a day-to-day basis. Now, the little we get from organizations is not enough. We're very thankful for what we're already getting. For example, we're getting drugs for epileptic people living with epilepsy. We are getting drugs now at subsidized prices, but it could be better. And we're happy that organizations like in Kenya, we have Kawe, who have come up with a program, and they are really subsidizing drugs for these kind of kids. It is expensive, we must say. And that is why holding clinics, like for example, it would be very important if we could have clinics, regular clinics for such children. Apart from, of course, we have scheduled visits to see how they are developing in certain organizations. In Kenya, organized by like the Rotary Club through Kawe. And this is actually really good, because there is an improvement, a lot of improvement in this end.
Okay.
These are kids who need a lot of physiotherapy. I can assure you, without physiotherapy, then there is a danger of these kids medically being affected, like their bones, their joints, they could contract, the joints could contract and stuff like that. My experience has been, I have a private person who does physiotherapy, and I have a guy sent by Kawe, the organization that is helping us with drugs, to and follow up with medical checkups. Who comes at least once in a week on a Friday, but Monday, I've arranged Monday, Wednesday, and drugs don't fail to work, and therefore you have got these continuous convulsions, which in a day could run up to about 7, 8, 9 attacks. And these actually really affect the boy, because he becomes very weak. The stronger the convulsions, the weaker he becomes. He gets tired. And therefore, what we do, we quickly try and contact, because it's only a one day visit in a week. We contact other medical experts to ask them what we can do. We don't have the contacts of the people sent to us medically to contact these doctors. So we have to wait from, like me, Friday to another Friday. So in between, when it happens, for example, on a Saturday or Sunday, I have to look for a doctor who then takes care of what needs to be done for the boy. I remember one time he bit the roof of his mouth, and we thought he was bleeding from inside. It's only that he was swallowing the blood and puking it. We really need. My kid has never been to school, of course, but when I look at school, I think the ratio of teachers to these kids is not enough. Because then if you have a teacher who is caring for about 10, 15 kids of this nature, it's humanly impossible to pay close attention to what they're doing or what they're going through. Maybe one has wet himself, one has beaten themselves and stuff like that. So there is a problem. And then these teachers, although they are trained, they're trained to take care for such kids. But I also realize for a parent to have this kind of a kid, sometimes it takes a lot of pain to actually surrender your kid to a teacher who has not experienced this kind of thing. And therefore, yes, they are doing a good job. They are assisting our kids. But I think there is that lack of closeness to the kid, attachment to the kids, especially when a teacher doesn't have a kid like that. And then, as I said, the ratio of these children in schools for the disabled, schools where kids with epilepsy attend, you might not be able to pay attention to the normal kids, and these, in quotes, abnormal kids with epilepsy, pay very close attention. And therefore, as our governments are still struggling on how to manage these situations, we as parents have got the larger role to play and bring these kids, and actually not bring these kids, but but to attend and pay close attention to them. I think for me, that is what has affected me, because even if I took this kid to school, extremely very little can be done. So I'm left caring for him, ensure that he's taken care of even when he's at home, enjoy sunshine when it is available outside there, wheel him around in the environment, not keep him on a permanent environment where they're not exposed out there. Despite the taboo, it's good for the parents to be very open and very courteous and actually answer. Even kids out there who see you wheeling these kids, sometimes they ask you so many questions. It's good to respond to them. And
all right,
so,
Mr. John,
there is a lot that we can.
Hi, Mr. All right. Okay. I think we'll definitely we'll come back to you again in the last one, just when we'll be rounding up. So maybe we can also listen to Mr. Becky. Thank you very much, Mr. John. I think you raised a good number of pertinent issues. But just a quick yes or no. Have you at any point had any regrets that you didn't send him to school, or you think that what you have done, the decision not to have him in school, it's the best for you? Just a yes or no.
No, I don't regret.
All right. Okay. All right, Mr. Becky. All right, Mr. Becky, please just turn on your camera and your mic. Interestingly, you are at the infant stage as a caregiver for your child with epilepsy. I know maybe maybe the next academic year or the one after, you're probably thinking about enrolling your kid in school. After listening to Miss Anita, to Mr. John, and Mr. John, do you have do you have fears when you think about enrolling your child in school? Do you have fears? If yes, can you share with us what your fears are?
Yeah, I all okay. Yes, Mr. Cynthia. Yeah. I've got fears. Yeah. Yes. Cause okay, what I have learned from other parents who have got those children who have got epilepsy. Yes. Cause okay, what I can say is that. It's a misconception about epilepsy. For me, unfortunately, common within the schools communities. So I try to provide accurate information about epilepsy through school programs. Because okay, I have asked some other parents about the situation, what they are facing in school or of their children. So, and okay, what I've learned is that okay, they have to have the school programs and resources, and also foster a supportive environment where students feel uncomfortable asking questions and learning about their peers. So what I can say is that okay, the challenges that are faced by parents who have got children with epilepsy is that some of the schools doesn't allow children to with epilepsy. They've got more physical problems such as fractures and bruising from injuries related to seizures. So, as well as higher rates of physical and sorry,
Okay.
as well as higher rates of physical conditions includes less mobility as well as attendance. They also miss classes as well due to seizure. And I also ensure that okay, we need a medical support for these children with epilepsy. So this child, I think this child affected in various aspects of his um, her academic and social emotion development. So what I can say, Cindy, is we are facing a lot of challenges with these children with epilepsy.
Mm-hmm. All right, and Mr. Becky, just to find out from you, I do not want to dwell so much around the school community with you because I know your child is due to get to school. But have you encountered misconceptions about epilepsy within your community, and if so, how have you addressed them as a parent to a child with epilepsy?
Yes, I have encountered with this situation because okay, what I I think we have to provide a safety inclusive environment, education staff, and implement necessary accommodation for the children with epilepsy at school. So I think the administration at school need to inform about this epilepsy.
All right, Mr. Becky, I think you have moved to
Yeah.
my next question. Now, what I wanted to find out from you is, have you had people misjudging the condition of your child within your environment? Have people judged you wrongly for what this child is experiencing? And if yes, how do you address these misconceptions?
Okay, yes, people they ask about the child, so it's like or most of the time they are asking why the child is like this.
Yeah.
So those challenges I faced, don't okay. I try to influence them or to tell them that okay, this it's a challenge, or everyone can get a child with epilepsy.
Mhm.
So what I do is that I tell them to appreciate the child's situation.
Mhm.
So now I'm trying. Yes, now I'm trying to. I have I take him to a nearby clinic for physiotherapy so
Okay.
that he can be. Yes.
I can imagine how expensive that can be.
Can you come again?
Is it expensive having this child go to the clinic for physiotherapy and all that? Is it expensive?
Yes, it's expensive.
All right. Do you
It's
have
expensive.
do you have support, maybe from government, maybe from civil society organizations around your community?
I don't have any support because even the medication, I'm struggling to get the medication. Then I used to take the child twice a week to the nearby clinic for physiotherapy. I take him on Tuesday and Thursday. But I think maybe he's coming well because some other things that he don't have to do, like okay, he used to sleep, not even to sit on his own. So, but now he's trying to sit. Some other things that she was not doing. While maybe you can take him like to a sofa and say maybe he can stand by her own, but now he's coming well. She's coming well. So I think maybe it can help if maybe I've got a support to take him to maybe private clinics or have a support to government.
Right. And are you preparing to have her enrolled in school, even with the funds you have?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I hope I will take him to school maybe when he's on his way to go to school. Then I wish to take her to school.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Becky. Please just hold. I'm going to be coming back to you on my very last question, but maybe we just take a round to speak to Mr. John Joroge. Mr. John, I want to find out from you what misconceptions you have had around your child and what you do to address these situations. I'm talking to Mr. John Joroge, especially within the school environment and even your community. How do you address these misconceptions?
Thank you so much. In my community or in my tribe, they always say it has it has to be maybe you did something bad, maybe to your parents or maybe to your ancestors, or maybe there's something you are doing that is not right, and so it is coming back to you. So me always try to tell them, um, we can't judge everything, and we can't say this is bad, this is good, and we don't know what happened for a person to become ill. We can't try to say maybe my parent did something wrong, which I don't know, or maybe uh, we are doing something that is not good in our life. So I've tried to end the stigma mostly in my family because it starts at home. So most of my family don't understand what epilepsy is, and so it has come to now school, after school now community, because now the boy is big. in school, I always try to do some awareness maybe with the teacher. Try to tell her or him maybe it's something that we can't say it's culture or we are doing against our family's will. So me, I always try to understand when someone is sick, it is good to focus with the illness and not to hear what people are saying about the illness.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. John. Hi, Anita. I'll quickly just come back to you to find out how you address misconceptions around your child, maybe people who do not have a proper understanding or lack awareness, about this condition. How do you go about addressing these misconceptions?
Okay, thank you. There are many common misconceptions about epilepsy in schools or the environment settings. Some claim that epilepsy is caused by demons or witchcraft, as others were saying. Many people wrongly believe seizures are spiritual or supernatural, leading to fear or stigma. So I usually try to address such people whenever I come across them and do encourage them to follow our organization page on Facebook because they usually share such misconceptions and correct them through certain posters on Facebook. Another misconception is that children with epilepsy are mentally disturbed. So I usually experience this in my surroundings. Most people will say that child is mentally disturbed, which is false because the epilepsy is a neurological condition, not a mental illness. So I will always try to address those people whenever I come across them. They also claim that children with epilepsy are silly or they are misbehaving. Seizures are not done on purpose. Laughing, blank staring, or sudden movements might be symptoms, not behavior problems. I will also correct that maybe, if possible, some may say epilepsy is contagious, yet you cannot catch epilepsy from someone. It's not an infection. They will also claim people with epilepsy can't learn or succeed.
Okay.
Yet many learners, pardon?
No, we're listening. It's okay.
Yet many learners can do well academically with the right support. You may find out that I struggled when I was trying to find the accommodation for school, looking for a school for my son. Some of the principals would say you should take your child to a special school that was meant for mentally disturbed people because we can't accommodate him here. So I had a problem with that because such schools are expensive and I can't afford them because currently I am unemployed and I don't have much support since I am a single parent to my son. Other misconceptions could be that some believes that you should restrict or hold a child during a seizure. Yet this can be dangerous, and the right response is to protect them from injury and stay calm. So whenever I come across such people, I usually try to address them, even though before I used to cry and feel angry about that. But now I understand that no, they are not exposed. They don't know what is really happening. I used to sometimes my son will come crying, telling me they were bullying him, telling him that he's silly because he can't perform some of the tasks and activities other children do at school. Like, for instance, he has a problem with one side, which is not functioning well, including his leg and the hand. He can't perform simple tasks like tying his laces. At his age, he can't tie his laces because the other hand is not functioning. He can't fasten his buttons, the shirt's buttons. He can't run properly. He's scared of heights. So people will believe, like his age mates will believe, no, oh, this boy is silly, he's not clever. Let us not play with him. We should avoid him. He's not clever. They will be surprised. Oh, you don't know this. Yet, yes, they see him as an old boy, but he still behaves like a minor, like maybe a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. Yet he's almost 11 years. It happened one day that I was following him. He was from school, and I was coming from the shop. So I heard one parent saying, "Oh, they were arguing with the other children from school." So I heard one parent saying, "Hey, you boy, why are you doing this to the other child? Look how old you are. You are too old for doing this to our child. You are going to rape our child, our children." So I was surprised. I couldn't address that woman because I felt like she's going to argue, saying a lot of things. He came crying, but I sometimes have to educate him and tell him that some people may not understand him because of this and that. Otherwise, we're facing a lot of challenges. It's really not easy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Anita. Thank you to all of the parents. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us so far. It's really been an interesting discussion, and we're going to be moving to the last set of questions. I'm going to begin with Mr. John Ngoda. Mr. John, do you what advice would you give to other parents navigating these challenges every day? What advice do you have for these parents? What advice do you have for the government, the community, and I mean those of us who are listening to you right now?
Thank you, Cynthia. One thing is we should consider these children as any other children. In fact, if anything, they need more attention, more care. You asked me a question earlier about do I really regret now that I never took my kid to school, or even I do not think of taking my kid to school. Under the circumstances, it's important for parents to weigh and see the degree of the degree at which these kids are affected, because then you will make an informed decision as a parent whether to take your kid to school or not. In my case, I weighed the pros and cons and decided no, I could take more care of my kid, of my son at home, than taking him to school because he wouldn't then benefit anything. I socialize him. Of course, it's important to socialize your kid with other kids when they're playing outside there. it is very important. So as a parent, I would advise the community not to look down upon such children. And the only thing that we can do to sensitize the community is, as and when the circumstances allow, create room, create time, get out there with this child, take them out there, let people see them, let people ask questions and respond positively. I think that is the best awareness you can do. When people ask, when other children ask, because they look at these kids with a lot of concern, respond to them, answer them with humility. Then sometimes somebody may not ask, but are you willing to volunteer as a parent and talk about your kid, talk about your son in his or her presence when and as and when circumstances allow? Um, for me, I would say what parents, I had one of my sisters here say she's unemployed. And can you imagine for an unemployed parent with such kind of a kid or kids? The medical bit of it is very, very expensive. And medical here includes diapers. Actually, these kids don't need too much. They need a diet, they need diapers, they need medicine. Now, for diapers, it's very, very expensive. Like in Kenya, you're talking of about $16, $15 to $16 where it is subsidized, and where it is not, it's expensive. It's about $27. And so, and that is only per week if you sparingly use the diapers. So what I would ask the government to do is to try and see whether in their budgets, wherever they are doing their budgets, is it that they can actually propose a budget for these kids living with cerebral palsy, living with epilepsy, so that these kids can have diapers. I mean, it's unfortunate that the community is ill-informed. Here you have a kid in a public transport and they poo-poo. You know, they look down upon you. Why would you come with a kid who is doing this in a public means? And they do not understand that you're unemployed. You don't have a means of taking this kid to clinics. So is it that the government can think about bringing these clinics closer home so that parents with such kids can meet there and form support groups, share openly such the form of a disability. And therefore, Cynthia, we have a lot and we have a journey to travel together. But for me, what I would advise the community and parents with these children, weigh the degree of the damage of your kid before you take them to public or private schools. Ensure that this does not remain within your precincts. Can you take it out there and share it with church groups, mosque groups, wherever they are? We have got these social organizations. Why don't we share this? When you do that, you perhaps can even create a situation where you go to clinic together and share transport costs, because these kids sometimes need transport. Somebody does not have even a wheelchair. Is it that you can actually go even for a second hand and sponsor one of your own who has this kind of a situation and the kid is at home? So for all across the divide, my view would be there is more sensitization that is needed. There is more. It is more important coming together as affected parents so that we can actually create support groups, which we can then approach organizations, which can actually even talk to the government on our behalf. Because as an individual, there is not very little you can do with the government. But as a group, you can do a lot by approaching organizations, where be it non-governmental organizations, be it departmental officers that care or that are supposed to care for such groups. That way, our shouting out shall be heard. And I believe we can have such kind of platforms to air our views, and not just airing our views, but acting upon strategic plans which we may be engaged in, and place this in the public eye, in the public attention, in the government's attention. Today in Kenya we have got county governments. Is it that they can also give support to this kind of children? If that can be done, we will make it easier on the way going forward for such children.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. John. I'm going to move over to Mr. Becky. Mr. Becky, what advice would you have for parents who navigate these challenges that you face daily, maybe government, civil society organizations, and to the community at large?
Oh, yes. What I can say to other parents out there who have got, maybe they don't have the child with this epilepsy. No, they have to take care to anyone's child who is epilepsy. And to those who have got those child who have got epilepsy, they don't have to take them. Maybe they have to take them out there when the other children, maybe they've got occasions there and there. They have to take their children there so that they can see all the environment. If maybe they see other children playing, they say they have to enjoy. So my advice is that if you've got a child with epilepsy, don't take him as it's your own situation. You have to ask to some other parents, maybe who have got experience with children with this epilepsy. So even government, I ask government to support us as parents who have got these children, because we don't have enough money to take our children, and even the medication is too expensive. Yeah, because they have to take the medication every day. And most of our clinic here, they don't have the medication. You have to skip 2 to 3 days without the medication for the child. So it affects her a lot, because he has to take the medications every day, maybe twice a day. So I'm urging those parents maybe who have got children that they don't have to hide their children. They have to take them, as Mr. John have said. If maybe there is a walk, you have to take your child there. And maybe you can get a support to someone else who can see your child that have got epilepsy, so that you can get the medication for the child.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Becky. And I'll go back to Mr. John, Mr. John Joroge. Mr. John, very briefly too, what word of advice do you have for the community, the government, and even the school environment?
Thanks, Cynthia. I can encourage the community to build a space for epilepsy and disability or progressive condition, so that we can eliminate stigma and create awareness in our community. So if you see a kid on the street, or you see a parent with a kid who has disability, try to engage with him, because you don't know next what will happen. You might find someone like him or her on your way home or on your safari, going somewhere, and you can help. Yeah, that's what I can say. And our government to support in medicine and physiotherapy, because it is hard for caregiver. At the same time, you are checking your kid, and at the same time, he or she wants something from you. Thank you.
What about the school environment? school environment, school administration?
Yeah. I'll try to tell them to build some space for kids, all the kids. They stop discriminating the disability and try to put like this kid, because he can't school here, you have to take him out of this school.
Okay.
Kindly schools try to help those children and build some classes and try to bring teachers who know how to deal with them.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. John. Hi, Anita. Anita, very briefly as well, what of advice from you as a mother navigating these challenges every day? What can you tell other parents or other mothers who find themselves in the same situation like you?
Okay. I can say parent children fully. Epilepsy does not define your child.
Yeah.
Celebrate their strengths and support their challenges. Learn about the condition. The more you understand, the better. You can help your child and educate others about epilepsy. Be patient. Progress may be slow, but every small step matters. Patience builds confidence. Again, parents work with teachers and school. There should be a communication between the parent and the teacher. And to the teachers, please be patient. Please be patient with us. Now we are going through a lot. Create a support system. Connect with other parents who are also facing the same situation. Like, for instance, with us here in Eswatini, the Eswatini Epilepsy organizations created a group for us where we socialize, share with other parents what we are going through, or ask for help sometimes from those who are responsible, like the social workers. The support groups really helps, or frequently contact health professionals who understands your journey. Educate those around you, especially family members, friends, and classmates. I'm having a challenge. Oh, I had a very big challenge which I'm even scared to share about my family concerning my child's situation. Currently, I'm alone on the matter of the child because they couldn't understand. They thought it was because of witchcraft or demon, such that I had to leave home and stay on rented flat because of this condition. So it is very, very important to educate those around you about epilepsy. Okay. It also helps your child, making a conducive environment for him or her. Also encourage your child. Remind them they are not alone, and epilepsy cannot define them or stop them from doing anything. Like, as I said earlier on, that my child has a problem with his left side, but I always encourage him to try and tie his laces, try, do his washing, and do other household chores, even though he cannot do that well. I'm not doing that for perfection, but I want him to learn responsibility.
All right.
Because Because what if I die? And lastly, the parents too, take care of yourselves. You can't pour from an empty cup. You really need to take care of yourselves.
Okay.
Lastly, I would like to urge our government to please help us ensure that medication is always there. Because there are instances where you cannot find the medication in the psychiatric hospital, which makes it hard for us to get the medication since it is expensive and we don't have money. As a challenge in getting the disability grant, I applied for it a few months ago, which I was not aware of. But through the epilepsy organization, they made me aware that I can apply for a disability grant. I tried, but I haven't get a response yet.
Okay.
And I would like to thank the Eswatini Epilepsy Organization.
Okay.
They really helped me a lot with my son. I was not aware of epilepsy until I went out on Facebook seeing their posts, and they started helping me, referring me to hospitals and physiotherapists, helped me a lot with my son. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Anita. Thank you very much, Mr. John. All right. I didn't plan on taking questions or comments, but just this one for Mr. John Goda. Mr. John, hope I'm pronouncing the second name all right. If not, please forgive me. There is a question here from you, from Charles Kinwa. He wants to find out from you that after caring for your son for 39 years, he wants to understand if there are other emerging issues given the daily medication can take a toll on the liver and kidney.
Thank you. You see, doing a whole medical checkup on such kid, because he doesn't talk for himself. Sometimes he cries endlessly for about half a day. Then you think he's ill or something is happening, only to realize that it's just a reflex. Full medical checkup, because only then can I know whether my son is fine or not. Right now, I've been looking for money here and there because I need about $300 to take him for a full medical checkup, where I need to have his heart checked, I need to have his pancreas checked, his liver checked, and his kidneys. It is very expensive in Kenya, I must admit. But what gives me comfort is at the end of the day, when you look at the kid, is he comfortable? Is he sleeping? Is he eating? Is he puking occasionally? If all those things are absent, then I believe that my son is okay. Until such time that I get enough money, I'm taking for a full medical checkup. In the ensuing period, what I've decided is I'll start with his kidneys. I'll go to a private clinic, however small it is, but as long as it gives me comfort that his kidneys are fine, then the next time I'll go for the liver, the next time I'll go for the rest of the parts of his body. But in the meantime, I have not done any of those other than the assessment of his disability that was done in a public hospital and I was told he's about 85% disabled. So for me, my take is I have not done it, Charles, but I have scheduled to do it. Why has it taken so long? Sometimes you're working and that time is not there. My wife has given me a lot of support since we got this baby. She had just attended a medical school, but even then she never graduated. We just got the kid just at the end of, just at the peak of her graduation. But she has taken care of this boy all this time when I'm working, and I'm happy that we have managed this far. But I have scheduled to do that.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Thank you, everyone who has followed this conversation very keenly. We can't thank you enough, the parents, for sharing your experiences with us, for even just accepting to be part of this webinar. We had an agreement and a series of shifts, but I'm happy that you all were available today. Thank you for your inspiring stories. And I'm very certain that those of us who are listening, civil society organizations, or who have the power to bring changes that can impact the life of this children, they definitely are listening and taking note. I'm very happy that we were able to do this today. Thank you for this insightful conversation. I'm going to be asking the regional coordinator for IBA Africa, Mr. Action Amos, for closing remarks, and that will be it for today.
Thank you, Wanchia, for a job well done. And on behalf of IB Africa, I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to the parents for being part of our webinar on epilepsy and focusing on parents with children with epilepsy. And parents, we really want to thank you for generously sharing your stories, your honesty, your courage, and openness. I think gave us all powerful insights into the real experience of families living with epilepsy. And really, your voice brought in, the depth that we needed into this discussion, reminding all of us, to learn on how we can improve support and care. Once again, Wanchia, thank you for your thoughtful moderation and creating this kind of space. And we want to assure you, parents, those that participated and those that were listening, that we'll have in the future platforms such as this. I know this webinar will be uploaded on our website, but in the future we have plans to support the work you are doing as parents, so that you are able to share with others, and maybe have you in other platforms where you can even present physically during those sessions, so that people can learn from all the wisdom that you have shared today. Together, we can actually continue to reduce stigma, build understanding, and advocate for the better lives for our children with epilepsy and their families. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Action. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day, and hope to see you during our subsequent webinars. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.